a bracket. You look for it. If it is there, we get rid of it, meaning we're going to do whatever is in the bracket first. We might be dealing with power, and another name for power is exponent. So we're talking about this here. It refers to power. For example, I'm just writing this again, like 2 raised to the 4. So this is the power. That's what we're referring to. All right. Or we have a multiplication sign, a division sign, and subtraction and addition. Remember again that the last class we did say this. So let me just take off that line right there. All right. Remember the last class, what we said was that the bracket is priority. The power is the second priority. But when it comes on to multiplication and division, they are next, but both of them are on the same level, which means any one of them comes first from left to right, you do it. And we're going to look at some examples. Also, addition and subtraction, they are the last level, and none is more important than the other. So if the addition comes first, you deal with it. If the subtraction comes first, you deal with it. All right. So now let's just go and look at some more questions we're picking up. So we have 2 minus 1. So we're talking about this. We have plus 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 11. We have that to deal with. A lot of persons would have just run ahead and started to work, meaning they start to say 2 minus 1. You can't, because the subtraction sign is not as powerful as the multiplication sign, which means that we must multiply before we can add or subtract. So that's what we're referring to when we say the order of operation. What do we do right now? Right? So the multiplication comes first. So we're going to have to deal with this. And whatever we get, we're going to deal with this again because we have a double multiplication there. How do we approach this? Well, let's watch. We'll start by writing back the 2 minus 1 because we're not going to be using that yet. You could even put back your plus sign here. But we must multiply, and I'm going to highlight it for us. We're going to multiply the 5 times the 4 right there. So the 5 times the 4 is 20. Now I'm going to write back times 11. So technically, I only dealt with this piece right now. And everything else I had written back around it. So now, the next thing is that we look again. I'm seeing 2 minus 1 plus 20 times 11. Oh, I cannot subtract. I have to deal with my multiplication because multiplication is stronger than subtraction and addition. So we're going to multiply. So what we're going to do is we're going to write back what we're not doing yet. So we're going to write back 2 minus 1. And then we're going to find out what is 20 times 11, 220. This is where we are. Now, if you look, we have a minus and a plus. They are both on the same level, but the minus came first. So think about it, 2 minus 1, and then you're going to add. So I'm going to put it beside it. 2 minus 1 is 1, and you're going to add your 220. So everybody would agree that this is 221. It says 9 plus 15 divide by 5, and then you multiply that by 13. Again, the regular person will say 9 plus 15, and they're going to write 24. You cannot do that because division is stronger than adding. No, division is not stronger than multiplication. But if it comes before multiplication, you are forced to do it first. And if the multiplication comes before division, you are forced to do the multiplication first. So as you could see, the division came before the multiplication, and the division is stronger than addition. So we are going to write back the 9. All right, and you can put back your plus. But you're going to have to deal with this now. 15 divided by 3, and that is going to give 15 divided by 5, and that is going to give us a 3. All right, and then you write back multiply by 13. So the first step, you would have dealt with 15 divided by 5 and you get the 3. So again, more things to do. The order of operation is very powerful. We cannot add the 9 to the 3 because multiplication is stronger than addition. So then, you're going to write back your 9 plus, and you put your 39. Because 3 times 13 is a 39. So we're adding 39 plus 9, and you'll get about 48. And this is what we have. So now you could see that there are multiple operations in one line. Remember though, we're seeing where a bracket, let me let the bracket look more like a bracket. I don't want anybody to think it's anything else. So we have a bracket there. So remember that when you look at the order of operation, there is the first priority is to look if there's a bracket. And when there is a bracket, we have to give precedence to our bracket, which means that we're going to be dealing with the bracket first. So I'm going to highlight what is in the bracket for us. We have all of these in the bracket. So you could see that they're in the bracket right now. So we're going to have to deal with the bracket before we even think about anything. So let's deal with the bracket. It's at the front anyway. Even if it was at the back, you deal with the bracket first, right? It's just a principle. So then, when you look inside the bracket, there is more things in the bracket. So follow the order still in the bracket. So we have a 9 plus 33, and then you take the 6 from it. So you could use your calculator and just tell you what that is, since it is just adding and subtracting. So 9 plus the 33, that's 42, right? And you take the 6 from the 42, you have 36. So what came from the bracket was a 36. All right? So the 9 plus the 33, I could just put it here if you want me to. I could just do this right there. Bam. That was a 42. And then when you took the 6 from it, we're left with the 36. Now I'm going to write divide by 6, and then we have this. I want us to understand now. We're at line 2. Remember, the thing says after the bracket, you look for powers. I am seeing this. All right? So I want to know what that is now. 36. I'm going to say divide by 6. Division is weaker than the power. So we're going to do this. I'm going to take this to the side because of errors that I've seen over the years. When most people say 3 raised to the second. So this is how you read this. 3 raised to the second power. Or some people might call it 3 squared. Right? What it means is not 3 times 2. You notice I said is not 3 times 2. It means 3 times 3. A power tells how many times something is multiplied by itself. So if you see 3 raised to the power of 2, the number 3 will multiply by itself. You will see 2 times 3 times 3. And that's a 9, which means that a 9 comes here. All right. Now we are going to assess the situation. 36 divided by 6 minus 9. Let's put that through. 36 divided by 6 is 6. When you minus 9, this now negative 3.